lot of fire left in me.
Good evening. It's another Tuesday evening, and we are live on Joy 99.7 FM. This is Geek Squad with your girl, Adobea Biritwum. Last week, we started an interesting conversation on how you can optimize your LinkedIn profile for job hunting and personal branding. We had a thorough discussion on this, and some of the key takeouts were that you have to update your LinkedIn profile picture. Yes, if you have a picture which doesn't really show your face well, please, this is the time to go and update that picture. If you do not have any profile picture at all on your LinkedIn profile, then you would have to upload one. Another thing we spoke about was the need for us to be updating what has been happening in our professional space. So don't just create a LinkedIn profile. It's been there for 5 years and you're not putting any status updates there. You would have to be posting something from time to time. And today we'll be sharing some more on this. One last thing we touched on were certain things that you are not supposed to do on LinkedIn. One of them is when you want to chat someone on LinkedIn. Probably you don't even know the person at all. You go ahead and you just send a message, hi. You wait for 1 hour or 2 hours for the person to come and respond your hi before you continue. Please, we do not do that on LinkedIn. With this said, we will be getting into our conversation for today because today is a part 2 of what we started discussing last week. Just in case you missed it, it is on our YouTube and Facebook channels at Joy 99.7 FM. You don't have to go and watch now. Listen to today's program. When it is done, you can just do a quick catch up on what we did last week. My guest is ready, and we will be getting into our conversation pretty shortly. But before that, Geek Squad is brought to you by MTN. MTN everywhere you go. Now, there are many things that are happening in the tech space. So before we get into our conversation, why not take a listen to the emerging tech trends?
Hello there. Welcome to another edition of Emerging Tech Trends on Joy Geek Squad. In this week's trends, Tim Cook confirms Apple's generative AI features are coming later this year. YouTube now has more than 100 million premium subscribers. Meta's Quest headsets add spatial video and pinch controls to compete with Vision Pro. And finally, Google is reportedly rebranding Bard to Gemini and plans to launch a dedicated app. Let's settle for the details. Apple CEO Tim Cook announced during the company's recent quarterly earnings call that they are developing new generative artificial intelligence AI software features that will be available to customers later this year. According to the Apple CEO, the company is dedicated to integrating AI into its software platforms and is putting tremendous time and effort into achieving this goal. YouTube has achieved a significant feat by surpassing 100 million global subscribers across its paid music and video tiers. The figure noted includes users who have subscribed to a trial service. Therefore, the actual number of paid subscribers is presumably lower. Subscription services of YouTube have contributed significantly to Google's subscription-based revenue generation, with the total revenue amounting to $15 billion in 2023. Meta Quest 3 is introducing new features that allows wearers to view spatial videos and control them using pinching gestures. These features are similar to those found in the more expensive Apple Vision Pro headset. Update V62 will gradually roll out to most Quest 2, Quest 3, and Quest Pro headset owners starting tomorrow. And finally, Google is reportedly planning to make changes to its Bard AI tool by renaming it to Gemini based on a leaked document on X. The new multimodal AI model, Gemini, was introduced in late 2023 and is currently being integrated into some Google products, including Bard. That's it for this week's Emerging Tech Trends on Joy Geek Squad. Catch you same time next week for more.
Welcome back. This is Geek Squad with Adobea Biritwum. Thank you for sticking with us. If you're just joining us this evening, we are talking about how you can optimize your LinkedIn profile for job hunting and personal brand. I have with me Amanda Akushi. She was here last week. She is a customer experience consultant, and we will be getting into the conversation again. Last week, I think there was really good feedback considering the things that we spoke about on how people can optimize their LinkedIn profile. And with one of the things that I thought about later on was what we didn't touch on when it comes to headlines. So usually when people put up their profile on LinkedIn, we mentioned how they would have to be updating certain features. One of them that we spoke about was the summary, where it talks about some different things that you have done in your career, the highlights. You shared that in the summary. Another thing that I thought we can also talk about is the headline, what is usually seen under the name when someone comes to your LinkedIn profile. So can we just touch on it, what people can put there as their headline so that they can optimize their LinkedIn profile?
Okay, thank you very much, Adobea. So with the headline, and then let me just include the banner image. You have your profile picture,
Yes.
and you have this big like
Background
background
picture,
behind
yes.
you. Good. So the headline often it's like a summary of either your expertise or what you talk about.
Yeah.
So you'd realize that when you send a connection to someone, that is what the person will see before sometimes accepting, to
Yes.
give them an idea of who you are, so that they don't have to click on your profile to go and see everything about you. So it's a form for you to, will I say, sell yourself or put your best foot forward. So would you want to talk about what you talk about? Is your expertise? Is it what you are good in? Is it your background? Is it your profession? That fills up the place. And then your banner image also gives a summary of what you talk about or what you are into. For instance, if I use my banner image, immediately landed talk about customer experience.
Yes, I see
so
that.
you have an idea that, okay, this is customer experience, and it breaks it down for you to have an idea, even if it's not customer experience, what is it? What is customer experience? So you see something about brand loyalty popping up somewhere, so it gives you an idea. Then you have the headline where you talk about your expertise, your professional certifications, whatever. So immediately you send someone a connection, or you pop up in the search column,
Yeah.
without them clicking on your image or clicking on your profile, they have an idea of who you are.
Yeah.
So that's what you use that place for.
Yes. And it's interesting to know some people will just have certain things like student at KNUST. And we'll be getting into some of the don'ts. I think having something of the sort as your headline doesn't really say a lot about you, because from what you have even just explained, it's a summary of either what you talk about or what you do. So if you have there as your headline, students at KNUST, we don't even know the program that you are offering. We don't even know what you're looking at doing. So one thing that people can do is, if you're a student, and an example, you are studying, I'm going to use the customer experience as an example, then it means you can even put there aspiring customer experience
Exactly.
consultant.
I was about to say that.
Yes, definitely when someone sees it, they know that this person, they can even use those keywords to
Yeah.
search you up or to look you up there. Okay, and then you've spoken about the banner image too. So link to what you do. It would just be good to upload something. So people sometimes leave it just as it is, that blue background. Please, it will be good to upload a picture or something that talks about yourself
Yeah.
there as your banner image or your background.
So it's easy to also load it. It's just the same way you loaded your profile picture.
Yeah.
With that big blue thing, you would see a small icon, like a camera icon. So you click on it, it would allow you to load the banner
The
image.
picture
as well.
that you
Yeah.
want to put there.
So it's not automatic that once you've loaded the profile, it should reflect there. You have to be intentional about it to choose something else to load for the banner image.
Definitely. We'll have to be intentional about it in the first place in order to optimize our LinkedIn profile. Last week, we started with some of the don'ts people should not do on LinkedIn. So I just want us to touch on just a few more, and then we can get into the different parts of our conversation. we spoke about the messaging, how people shouldn't just go ahead and send message and wait 1,000 years, expecting response before they move on to the next message. The ideal thing is to even optimize the use of our time as well. So you can just put the message there across. What are some other things that people should not do on LinkedIn?
Okay. So just to link it back to the same message, it's good to first, when connecting with someone, introduce yourself briefly and then make your intent known to the person. Or maybe you're connecting because you have a common friend that you met who said so and so about the person. Or maybe you share some interests together, or maybe you are in the same group on LinkedIn together and you want to connect to learn or to see how you can collaborate. It's good to go straight forward to why you are connecting, other than, as I said last week, just say hi. You'd go, come back and say, how are you? And then sometimes what I've just realized that you'll just say, hi, how are you? And then that is all. And they would vanish and come back like after 2 months and still come hi. So the moment you come back hi, the person wouldn't mind you again.
Yeah.
Because when you said, hi, how are you the other time, you didn't say anything.
Yes.
And people who really don't have much time to spend on LinkedIn, you'll realize that they do not attend to some of these messages. And there are some people, especially with a premium account, if your message is not one that they think they can link or relate with, they don't accept you as a connection. So you are not able to connect. So you go back to your pending request and realize that I sent a connection to this person, it's still pending. So it will be good to go straight ahead with what you want to do. Also, I think just last week when we were discussing, someone mentioned when finished that he doesn't understand why people use shorthand even on LinkedIn.
Yes.
And so you see please, then someone writes PLS. But so I think it's something that also puts people off. That once we said it's a professional platform, we should try and write in full and be formal. And we should watch our tone when having a conversation, and also be mindful of other people and have that empathy. Put yourself in other people's shoes. So when you're responding to someone's post, or you're commenting on someone's post, you have to be mindful about your words, mindful about your tone as well, so you don't go ahead saying things that are not supposed to be said on a professional platform.
Got you. You mentioned something just when you were giving your submission that people don't really have much time to spend on LinkedIn. So I'm just asking, for those of us on LinkedIn, when it comes to posting of content, should you be checking specific time to be doing it? Because who knows, maybe there's a window that people will be very active on LinkedIn, and then you can put something, then you have people engage with what you have posted.
So just like all other social media platform where you have analytics, with LinkedIn you have analytics as well.
Yeah.
And I've realized that's one thing. People just don't like seeing graphs and seeing numbers. It's a lot.
Yes.
So because of that, they normally will not check the analytics. But it would be good to check your analytics to give you an idea of even the posts or the content that your audience really relates to more. It would give you an idea of, okay, I posted this content on Monday, posted something similar. I realized anytime I post this, my impressions or my engagements are higher or are good. So it gives you an idea of the kind of content you should post. If you do it over time, you also realize the times that people really engage with your content. One thing I have realized that because we've termed, or it is a professional platform, it's assumed that people would be at work from 8 a.m. to maybe 12.
Yes.
So you realize that during from 5, 6 to 8, you get a lot of people on LinkedIn because they want to just keep themselves updated, check what is there.
Yeah.
Because 8 o'clock, they're starting to work.
Yes.
So the traffic, in a way, reduces. And they realize that after 12, people are on break, so they come back again. So it's for you to check your audience, your content, and which time do people really relate with your post. And then which kind of post do people really relate to? Then it informs you about the kind of post you should be putting out there, and then which time you should be doing that.
Okay, so it depends on your audience, as you have said. Now, someone may just wonder, looking at the job I do I have my audience on LinkedIn? So my simple question is LinkedIn for everyone? That's the first question. And based on that, for someone who is probably already having an account on Instagram, for instance, selling clothes, for such a person, can they be on LinkedIn? Because this audience coming in, and when you can even send a message for them to see and engage with it. Can we just talk about that?
That's a good question. Is LinkedIn for everyone? If you're a business, and if your clients or your audience or your target market, would you find them on LinkedIn? Are they professionals? Then LinkedIn is for you.
Yes.
So that is why I'm going. So I don't want to say a no or a yes. So
Okay.
let's go back to the clothing shop
As
you
an
said.
example, yeah.
So with a clothing line, for instance, I would ask, you would ask if your audience are on LinkedIn, and then ask what kind of clothing you sell. So maybe you have some corporate wears. Okay, you're targeting corporate. You're targeting people who would wear it to work. Means you'll find them also on LinkedIn.
On LinkedIn.
So maybe if you're putting together a content for this same clothing shop and it's on Instagram, maybe you would be doing much more of like reels and be posting, maybe having the reel and you have someone wearing a white shirt and a black trousers. Maybe you turn yourself, it changes to blue.
That's on Instagram.
Maybe Instagram.
Yeah.
But then on LinkedIn, you would still be the same clothing shop, but the content you'll be sharing may be a bit different.
Yeah.
So yes, this clothing shop, you have corporate wear, so your clients are there. So in this time around, maybe you'll be sharing tips on how to dress to a business casual meeting.
Yeah.
And you know these terms often confuses us
It's
when we
true.
have to go for programs. So say we are the dress code is business casual, business to smart casual. Then you go like, what is this? So yes, the person who is into this clothing line or clothing shop, you leverage on that to create value for your people on LinkedIn that are your customers. So now you teach people how to pair a white shirt with a black trousers, the same black with two different tops or colors. It can be in a blog post, and then you can leverage on the article column of LinkedIn, add pictures to it, write it. You can teach people about how not to keep your white shirts or how not, because everything is related to the people you're selling to. It can be the same clothing line that is into maternity wear.
Yeah.
You have people in corporates that would
These
that
are
get
content ideas. for
yes, these are
people.
free content ideas, right? I know. So yes, you are into maternity wears. And you realize that when people who are in corporate or they do go to work find it difficult when they are pregnant to get something to wear and you're wondering, how do I sew it? Maybe you have the solution. So then you also share ideas. Maybe 5 clothings to look out for during your first trimester.
Yeah.
So you let them know because you sell them. It becomes value and then you are top of mind. So now when they are there, I was like, oh, I think I need this dress. I saw a post on this, or I saw an article on this, or I saw how not to fold your maternity wear to keep it straight during light off when you are going to work. So all these are content. You are on IG, you are on LinkedIn,
Yeah.
but then it's the same shop. And I'm sure that person will say, oh, my people are not on LinkedIn. It's not you. Your people are there.
Yes.
And you can share these contents together as well.
Definitely. So it depends on the platform that you are on. Your audience, once you find them on the platform, then the type of content you show them, you have to vary it. If it's Instagram, yes, you have to do certain things to it. There will be certain tweaks to it. But if it's LinkedIn, where we know it's a professional platform, then we would have to check how we also post there.
Exactly. So I have this one I connect with. It's a lady.
Okay.
I'm trying to remember the exact handle, but it's something around professional shoemaker.
Okay.
So she does this whole shoes and things, and it's a lady, and I love her content. I'm sure someone's like, oh, you have to be on IG or Facebook. But she's on LinkedIn.
She's on LinkedIn.
And she
People
has
on
good
LinkedIn
connection on LinkedIn.
wear shoes.
Yeah.
Definitely. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So definitely you have to check these things and then create the content around this. We've given some free ideas for someone who's probably into clothing. Can we look at another person? They're not really into clothing, but what can be some content ideas? Because I think that's what some people find daunting. You are on LinkedIn. Last week we mentioned that people will have to be posting updates as often as possible, so you don't just have a dormant profile there. You are not making good use of it. We've spoken about the picture. So someone has gone ahead, updated their profile picture on LinkedIn. However, they are finding it difficult to just post anything. We just want to share some content ideas. So people have completed school. Some people I know have already gone ahead to share pictures of their graduation. Thank God I've graduated in so and so area, looking forward to starting a new career in this or that. So that can be an idea for a content. But for someone who is already working, how do they share certain updates on their profile to make it more engaging?
So with someone who is already working, I'm sure day in and day out we have things we can relate to.
Yeah.
And we sometimes sit and talk among ourselves as friends. These are all content you can share. I'm sure you went to the banking hall and then wondering how certain things are delaying and why it cannot be done. It can be a poll. So you just ask a question. Do you also experience same A, B, C, D? Put the answer questions there, or put the people for people to choose an option from. You don't have to be restricted to share something that someone is sharing when you cannot really align to. So ask yourself, in your industry, in your field, or whatever that you do, what are some of the things that you've noticed that you think they are don'ts, or there are things people should not do? Or what are some of the things that you think is a solution to some challenges people are having? These are all content. So you just have to sit, be intentional about it, and then try to draw your lines backwards. And then you'll be able to get a lot of content ideas from it, and then just load it. And you don't have to write a whole one page.
Yeah.
It can be just 3 sentences.
But some people write a lot on LinkedIn
Some people,
too.
oh yeah, some people, there are days that I
pressure
write.
people.
No, it's not pressure. So there are days that, yes, you get people who would write because of maybe what they want to share. And there are some days that you wouldn't want to write that lengthy. So don't be pressured by the fact that someone is writing 20 lines or 30 lines and you are writing 3. You'll be surprised you write just 3 lines and people can really relate with it and people can really align with it. So be you. Ask yourself, what are some of the things in your industry, the do's, the don'ts? What are some of the struggles people are having? All these are content that you can create. It doesn't necessarily have to be one page. Yeah.
Doesn't have to be one page, something little. And sometimes, we even mentioned it last week, you can just share a post that you saw. The whole idea of what we are saying right now is optimizing your LinkedIn profile. We don't want to keep it dormant, not active. So it could be it's a post that you read, you can go ahead and share it, you can comment on it. Once in a while, as we have said, maybe twice a week or probably once a week, you can just have a little update about yourself. The things that we do around us, there are so many things that we do around us.
It can be a book
Yes.
that you've read.
Yeah.
You're reading and you think, this is something that you see common, like people can relate with, or someone spoke about it. You just want to write something about it to share. It can be a book you are reading, and then just write something small about it. And you are not it's not mandatory for you to post every day in the week. Yes. So maybe yours can be once in the week.
Yeah.
Someone's can be twice in the week. Someone's own can be 3 times, and someone's own can be 7 or 5 times. Just do what you can, but it should be of value. So make sure you are providing value. You are also concerned about your brand image at the same time. So it's not just because you are supposed to post, you put anything at all there. But don't be pressured because somebody is posting 7 times a week and you can post just 2 or 3. No, don't be pressured. But just make sure what you are posting, you are giving value.
I like what you just said. What you're posting, you're giving value because it's LinkedIn. It's something to do with your profession. You're talking about what you're probably doing at work. If you're not careful, it ends up becoming like you're just self-promoting in a way. So we must add value to people.
Exactly.
If you are putting a content there, you can just ask yourself, is someone who reads this post I've put here, are they going to benefit from it? What value am I adding to them? And even just talking about value, I think one of the things that probably we can do from time to time too, we'll need to maybe talk about an achievement, but then we can just balance it and see. If I'm doing, say, 3 posts in a week, maybe 1 can be about an achievement, the remaining 2 should add value to others.
And also to add, when posting or adding value, especially you find yourself in the corporate world, and we need to apply emotional intelligence as well to it. Sometimes you realize that you want to post a content or a write-up, and during that same week, something similar happened in your office. And if you are not careful, what you are going to write may feel as if this one is to somebody else, or is to a manager, or is to a supervisor. And don't be surprised, the supervisor, manager, HR manager also connects with you. So you realize that you make them feel as if, so you are talking about it because of it. But maybe you don't have that mindset. So sometimes you apply some of this emotional intelligence to realize that, okay, this one, I had prepared to put it up already, and then this thing happened. So just to save yourself, don't post that one on that week.
Yeah.
So maybe if you want to post it later on after some months or some weeks and generate something else, so that people don't feel, or your manager or your supervisor doesn't feel that because of something that we did or happened, now you're writing about us on LinkedIn. So we need to just weigh those options, and then when writing, not even on LinkedIn, on social media generally, we just pay particular attention about some of these things.
We definitely have to do that. Emotional intelligence has to be applied everywhere, and especially when we are just leaving our digital footprints everywhere with the different applications that we have now and we are using. So, we've spoken about how people can update different contents based on the audience that they have. I think the question that I asked earlier, can everyone be on LinkedIn? We just want to bring it home. So maybe someone is listening to us. We've spoken about maybe a person who is into clothing. Just want to ask someone who is a school teacher. Are we looking at the people we are talking about? Are we somehow defining it for just like white colored jobs, or just literally anyone can be your lead?
Yeah, I like the word you said, white collar job. Having your fashion store is your profession. I mean, you have a profession as maybe a fashion designer. It doesn't necessarily mean it's because you go into, an office to sit. So that is where just LinkedIn is for you. But then ask yourself, that's why I said, do you have something to share with people? Do you have some advice to give? Do you have some experience you want to share? And you think the people you want to speak to are on LinkedIn, or the people who can relate to it, you can find them on LinkedIn, then that is it.
That is all you need.
Yeah, that's all you need. You stay professional, mind your tone. That is, but it's not that difficult.
It's not that deep.
No.
Definitely. Okay. Well, one of the things we mentioned last week was people looking for jobs. They need for them to create LinkedIn accounts if they don't have at all. And if anyone says, I'm looking for a job, and you ask them, do you have a LinkedIn account, and they say they don't have, then that person is not really serious about looking for a job. So this is to you. If you're listening to us, maybe you couldn't join us last week. If you're looking for a job, LinkedIn is the place. First, you have to start by creating an account. They come in two main ones, which is the basic, where it's free, and then the premium version. You can just go ahead and create an account. And also, we'd just like to hear from you. You can share your message with us on the number 055 1111997. Were you able to listen to us last week? We asked that you do some things to your LinkedIn profile. If you were able to do anything, do share with us on our WhatsApp number 055 1111997. If you so happen to also be on LinkedIn and it has been beneficial to you in any way, we would like to hear from you. Share with us on the number 055 1111997. All right. So now we've been focusing on the individuals on LinkedIn. Now we'd like to talk a bit about LinkedIn groups and how people can make good use of them. So can we just shed some light on that?
Okay, so when it comes to LinkedIn groups, I'm sure someone is wondering, where do I even find the LinkedIn groups?
Yes.
Okay, so when you go to, so if you are using your phone and you land on your profile, you can see your picture on the top left. So you tap on that picture, it drops, and then you see just below your name and then the highlights, you have groups there.
Yeah.
So that is where the groups, you can find groups. So groups gives you the opportunity to join groups that you can learn from, you can share ideas from, you can go to seek help from. And there are some groups that would even share job opportunities, career opportunities. You have the advantage of even collaborating with people in the group. So some groups are private, some groups are open.
Yeah.
So with the open group, you are able to just click and join. With the private groups, when you join, the admin would have to approve before you would be able to be added to it. So when you go to the group, you're able to even search for groups. There are 1,001 groups. There are groups on Excel data. There are groups on everything.
Literally anything.
Think about. So you would just have to go through those that are very open, and they have their description. So it gives you an idea of what is discussed on that group, and then you are able to join. So yes, LinkedIn groups are very, very good. So you can leverage on it to connect, to network with people, to share ideas, to learn. There are some groups that even have any issue or difficulty based on the group that you are on. You're able to put it there and get people sharing with you. And some groups that are private, that it means is just for the people in the group. So it's not open, so nobody sees what you are writing. So maybe if you're shy, you don't want people to see that asking question, maybe you want to go and join the private one, but hey, that's LinkedIn. So yes, the groups are very, very good. You just have to search which groups aligns with what you want or what you want to learn, and then you're good to go.
Okay. So for someone who is also listening to us and thinking, I'd like to create a group, I would like to start a group, I think it's also a good opportunity, depending on what you want to do in terms of collaborating with others. So not only do you have the option to join a group, you also have an option to create a group. This is Geek Squad with your girl Adobea Biritwum. This evening we've been talking about how you can optimize your LinkedIn profile for job hunting and your personal branding. I have with me in the studio Amanda Akushi, and we have been talking about this subject. We started last week, so as I mentioned, if you missed it, we have it on our YouTube and Facebook channels at Joy 99.7 FM. And if you want to see what's happening in the studio, we are live right now at Joy 99.7 FM on YouTube and on Facebook. We would like to hear from you. Some of the things that we shared with you about updating your LinkedIn profile. One of the things we said was have a good picture, professional looking picture updated there. Another thing we've spoken about even today is your headline. When someone comes to your profile, what they see first right under your picture. So if you are a student, for example, you don't just put the student at so and so school, you can add the details there. Maybe aspiring to be a web developer, you're aspiring to be a radio host, whatever it is, you can just put it there. Or even you are already in a career, you can put in keywords, example, QA engineer or customer experience consultant. That can be your headline, because for some people all they do is to just put the position and then the company they're working with, and that's it. But you can add some more keywords so that if recruiters are searching online for people for jobs, they can easily pick you up and they can hire you. Geek Squad is brought to you by MTN everywhere you go. Now we would like to find out if LinkedIn, just the way we have people making money on applications like Instagram and TikTok, if they can also make money on LinkedIn. But before we get into that, let's just take a quick listen. We'll be right back after this.
Imagine strutting into the most anticipated wedding of the year, only to see 7 other girls wearing your exact same outfit.
You are special and one of a kind, and that's why whether it's voice, data or SMS, you get to enjoy personalized offers tailored to your specific needs with MTN just for you. Dial *141# or select your options on the My MTN app to redeem your unique just for you package on Ghana's best mobile network. MTN.
Like a small boat on
Joy 99.7 FM.
sending big waves into motion, like how a single word can make a heart.
Welcome back. This is Geek Squad with your girl Adobea Biritwum. This evening we've been having a conversation on how you can optimize your LinkedIn profile for job hunting and for your personal brand. I've had with me in the studio Amanda Akushi. She is a customer experience consultant, and we have been talking about how we can make the most of our LinkedIn profile. Before we went on the break, we wanted to get into the possibility of people making money on LinkedIn. The first question is, can the money be made just like we have people making money on Instagram or maybe on YouTube with adverts? If not, what are the other ways people can make money?
Okay. So with LinkedIn, it's not, you don't have that direct content to monetize, like that direct thing with LinkedIn. But then you can monetize your knowledge. You can monetize your services. So are you someone who puts together digital, let me say, ebooks, or you put together digital knowledge that is on the form of ebooks, courses, then you can sell it. So it's the courses that will make you the money. It's the workshop you're selling that will make you the money. It's the services that you are providing. So is it you collaborate with people, so you leverage on the collaboration as an influencer. Yes, that is what would you be able to monetize, but not as we have like YouTube, that you provide like video content, and then
You get money
much
from that.
people are watching, you are being paid from. So it's not a direct way that you can monetize, but rather with your own knowledge, your expertise, your services, your product, you can also monetize it on LinkedIn. So it's not directly as YouTube,
The other
but then you just have to
applications.
sell what you have, which is your knowledge, in the form of ebooks, workshop, trainings, or is a brand influencer or a collaboration. Yes, you can sell that as well.
So it comes back to what we spoke about earlier, value,
Yes.
adding value to people. So once you are able to come up with contents like that, which you can end up commercializing, then definitely you are going to be making some money from LinkedIn. So looking at LinkedIn in general, I mean, we've spoken about how people can put in certain things in place. Their picture is one of the things that, and I keep talking about a picture because sometimes you go to people's profiles and the kind of picture that you see there, you just be wondering, with some sunglasses and all that. If it's on Facebook or Instagram, then
That's okay.
that's okay. But on LinkedIn, it would be good to have a professional looking picture there. And if you have not updated your picture, this is just a very good time for you to do that. So we've spoken about that and how people can also collaborate on LinkedIn. So we've spoken about even how people can send messages, because you don't just go ahead and send message using certain tones of language. One of the things that I think I want us to just look at when it comes to LinkedIn, we've spoken about even updating of our different statuses from time to time. So there are times that you see people have an example. LinkedIn, in the first place, like what we spoke about last week, is like your online CV. So sometimes you go to people's profiles and then they have like video content of their CVs, like they talk about what they do. People just put this up there. When you go there, it makes it more lively. So can we talk about some of the visuals that people can put there? We've spoken about the creation of the content, which has to do more with writing. So what are some other ways that people can keep their, should I even call them their audience, yes, engaged on their platform? Not just about the articles and things, but what other ways, not self-promoting, but what other ways can we use? Because maybe it could just be a picture of myself from time to time. I can put that there. But in doing that, not making it self-promotion, can we be sharing pictures of, say, my colleagues at work, for instance, because it has to do with my profession? So what other ways can we make it more visual and then engaging for our audience there?
Okay. So LinkedIn is not just only text.
Yes.
So you can leverage on text, pictures, videos as well. So you would even land on some people's profile, and then with the profile, they have this intro video
Yes,
to talk about
yes.
themselves. So some people use the intro video to pronounce the pronunciation of their names, so that you'll be able to learn how they pronounce their name. Some people is the pronunciation of their company names, and some people is to give you a brief about what they do. These are all content. And on the main feed content, it's not limited to just text. You can do both videos, you can do both, you can also do still images, which is the pictures. So you can even have videos, whereas you would have wanted to write it as a blog post or write it, you can video yourself talking about it and still post it. It's a form of content as well. We have some people or some businesses that would share with you the ideal day in the life of their employees.
Yeah.
So they give you an idea of what their employees, and there are some that will share content about why the employees want to work with the business.
them.
So you get the employees being videoed, interviewed. These are all content that we put up there. So you're not restricted to just use text-based content. So video contents are allowed, pictures, still images are allowed, and then texts are also allowed. So you just have to, as I said, know your audience. It shouldn't be just one way. Some people are just camera shy, so they wouldn't want to video
But
themselves.
from time to time, it would be a good idea to also do that, because some people, because I realize the times that I send posts or I do any updates and then there's either a video, a picture, I see that the engagement is usually more. You see a lot of people liking, a lot of people sharing, people commenting on this. So even though someone may be camera shy, like you're saying, I think from time to time they can just go ahead and put something like that up.
Video content really moves. as
Yes.
compared to text, even on all the other platforms as well. So people would want to see more than want to read, because listening and watching is easier for them than to now take their time
And
to
read.
So yes, video content really sells, video content really moves when given the value. People would want to rather listen to the video when you're giving the value other than to read. So yes, even though you're camera shy, once in a while, just do some 30 seconds video just to encourage or just to share something that you've always been doing, but doing it in the text way.
Definitely, we'll have to do that. So when it comes to LinkedIn, are there specific people for someone listening that we can follow? To, especially we are talking about for job hunting and then for our personal brand. So are there specific people that probably you follow, you can share with us, we can also follow to enhance our brand?
Okay. So when it comes to following or connecting, you would just have to ask yourself as an individual, what do you want to achieve?
Yeah.
Who are those you want to relate with? Who are those you want to link up with? What goal do you want to achieve on LinkedIn? Based on this, it gives an idea of the people to search for. You may not know them by name, but you can search based on titles. So you can just go in and search TV host.
Yes.
So you would have the TV host. And once you have it, it gives you an idea of, I think I want to connect with this person, or I want to relate with. You can go search in terms of HR consultants, HR specialists, recruiters. So you can use the keywords to search for people you want to connect with that you don't necessarily know them by names. But once you pop up, you would write. So you realize that with this, in your search column, sometimes they give you an idea how people found you. So when you are someone who do check your when it comes to your notifications, so they'll let you know people who viewed your profile, and they will let you know this person found you on profile or found you on search. Yes. So you can go in and search for the people you want to link up with, because maybe my goals or my likes may not be yours.
Yeah.
So maybe I would be in searching for people in the customer experience industry, the business transformation industry, maybe leaders in C-suite. But maybe yours may be to connect with people, other people in maybe engineering, people. Exactly. So be intentional about the keywords you'd want to use. So it shouldn't be difficult. You don't have to know the person by name. So use your keywords. That is why then it comes back to the keywords that we use in our highlights.
Yes.
And the keywords that we use in our description.
Yes.
Because if these keywords are not there, maybe I want to connect with Adobea. And then I know maybe Adobea is an engineer. But Adobea has nothing on the page that says engineer. But I'll type engineer and I won't find Adobea. I'll find someone else.
That's true.
So then as good as individuals, as you're using the right keywords, so that when people also want to connect with you, it's easier for them. Once they search their keywords, it's easier for them to connect with you.
By all means, we would have to be using our keywords to make it easier when people are searching. And there are even ways to optimize search on LinkedIn also, so that when someone just knows you probably by your first name or something that you do, they go ahead and search that.
It's good you mentioned the first name.
Yeah.
So whilst you're speaking about LinkedIn as a professional page, we should use our real names.
Yeah.
So unlike maybe Facebook or
sexy.
IG, and then you go and use *123. Please don't use *123.
It's one of the don'ts.
Yes, it's one of the don'ts on LinkedIn, especially if you're looking for a job. So a recruiter, you send your CV, maybe you went for a job interview, submitted your name. Are you on LinkedIn? Yes, I'm on LinkedIn. As one name. You are even finding it difficult to say the name because that is not your name. You have JY23. So try to use your name, your real name, your actual names on LinkedIn, as compared to a Nikki or 123 or something.
LinkedIn is not a place for us to be putting our nicknames. When people are searching for us, they'll be looking for the names that we have put on our CVs. And as you mentioned, because usually now a lot of people are on social media, and LinkedIn is a social media site, one of the things that recruiters usually ask for is the LinkedIn profile. And I think we can just take people through how they can edit their LinkedIn profile so that usually what comes would be with numbers attached to your name. When you go to the option to edit profile, where you can edit the URL for your LinkedIn profile, usually comes with some numbers, but then you can edit it to suit what you want people to see, so that it makes it a lot easier for them anytime you are searching for a job and then you are asked to drop your LinkedIn URL, your personal one. You can customize it to suit your name or what you want people to easily remember. We've been talking about how you can optimize your LinkedIn profile for job hunting and personal brand. I've had with me in the studio Amanda Akushi, and we will be getting into it pretty shortly after we have listened to the quick tech fixes.
Hello there, my name is Michelle Lejakum, and as usual, I bring you some tech quick fixes and tips here on Geek Squad. Are you wondering how to refine your Google searches? Well, there are different ways to filter your Google searches to be more precise or to expand in new directions. After you perform a search, use the filter button that appears near the search bar to refine your search. Filters allow you to narrow results to a particular type, such as video, news, and images. And that's it. Now you know how to get better results from your Google searches.
Imagine strutting into the most anticipated wedding of the year. Only to see 7 other girls wearing your exact same outfit.
You are special and one of a kind, and that's why whether it's voice, data, or SMS, you get to enjoy personalized offers tailored to your specific needs with MTN just for you. Dial *141# or select your options on the My MTN app to redeem your unique just for you package on Ghana's best mobile network. MTN.
Like a small boat on the ocean, sending big waves into motion, like how a single word.
Welcome back. This is Geek Squad with Adobea Biritwum. If you're just joining us today, we've been talking about how you can optimize your LinkedIn profile for job hunting and your personal branding. I've had with me in the studio Amanda Akushi, a customer experience consultant, and so far we have seen different ways that we can optimize our LinkedIn profile. It starts with first updating the profile with our details, what we have been doing in terms of our career. It doesn't matter whether you have a white collar job or not. All you have to check is your audience. Do you find them on LinkedIn? If yes, then you'd have to create content to suit the audience that you have. But on LinkedIn, it is a professional site, and because of that, we'll have to check our tone even when we are sending messages and then we are putting up content there. Another thing that we have also looked at today is how we can go ahead and message people. You just have to go straight to the point. Don't wait. Sometimes people go in chatting as if it is WhatsApp, or please, on LinkedIn, it's more professional. Let's go straight to the point first by introducing ourselves, and then once we do that, we can go ahead and ask the question, or if we want to collaborate with others, we can do that. Before we went on the break, we looked at how different people, you can connect to different people, how you can just check the different groups that are available on LinkedIn. You can search with keywords and then you can connect with people. Now, I just want us to touch on, if someone is listening to us, are there some specific features on LinkedIn that they can use specifically for someone who may be looking for a job, apart from the things that we have told them to do? Optimizing their profile pictures, their summary being updated, their background picture, putting an image that denotes what they do or what they want to do. Are there specific features on LinkedIn? I think one of the things that we've spoken about this year on our program is how people can learn new things. And last week we touched on it, the LinkedIn Learning, which you mentioned is not definitely for only people who have the LinkedIn Premium, but then you can even opt to just have LinkedIn Learning as an application where you are paying for and getting that service. Are there other things, other features that people can look out for on LinkedIn
So it apart from we have just like we have IG Live, we have LinkedIn Live
Yeah.
as well where people would have conversations with IG Lives. You can also make good use of the article column, especially when maybe you don't have a website. You don't have to have a website to be able to host your blogs. So LinkedIn has provided this for you free of charge.
free.
It doesn't come with a premium. I mean, with just the free option, you would be able to leverage on the article portion so that you'll be able to host all your blogs on LinkedIn. So maybe when you think you have now a paid website, and it's still good to still leave it there, so that you can even backlink it back to your website or from your website already. So yes, you can make good use of the article, and then also the news letter part is one that you can create newsletter, create your community.
I see a lot of invitations. Those
Yes,
newsletters.
exactly. So create your community that you want to share newsletters to them as well, because it also stamps you as an industry expert in a particular field or in a particular line of discussion that you are having. So yes. And then the LinkedIn Learning, it's one that I'll say it's very, very good. You can opt to pay for it alone, or you can go for the premium and then it comes with it as well. So leverage on the LinkedIn Learning. You can learn a lot of things from the LinkedIn Learning. So if you finish and you still want to acquire more knowledge, you still want to add some value to yourself in your industry, pay for the LinkedIn Learning if you don't want to pay for the entire premium, and then learn from it.
We definitely have to learn from it. It's one of the things that will keep hammering on Geek Squad for 2024. One of the New Year goals that we can all add is to learn something new every day, every week, or every month. And there are different sites that we can learn this from. One of them being the LinkedIn Learning. We can make good use of it if you are on LinkedIn Premium. If not, you can just opt for the LinkedIn Learning as a standalone application and use it. So with this said, what advice do you have for businesses that run a LinkedIn account?
Good. So for businesses that run a LinkedIn account, you are not left out when it comes to updating your profile as well, or updating the details we want to know. LinkedIn is a social media platform, and it's a touch point for companies as well. And your touch point is also a place that you expect that your customers can engage with you, can communicate with you, can speak to you as well. So that is how you're supposed to see LinkedIn. So yes, LinkedIn, try to engage with your customers, try to engage with your audience. You see companies posting, audience would
customer
comment.
experiences coming in. Listen,
I know.
to Amanda on this.
You see businesses posting, and you posted because you want to engage. You posted also to build your brand awareness and to build your brand reputation. And then you have your audience engaging, commenting, and nobody comments back. Nobody responds to it. It forms a lot of perception to your audience about the type of company you are. And there's some companies that are known for it. They'll tell you, this company, even on their Facebook, when you even comment, they won't mind you.
Nobody.
So I think with businesses for 2024, as you are leveraging on social media platform and especially LinkedIn to build your brand awareness, reputation, engage with your audience.
Engage with your audience.
Yes.
Your final words in 30 seconds.
I'd say if you're not on LinkedIn, you have to be on LinkedIn. That's my question.
If you're not on LinkedIn, you definitely have to be on LinkedIn as an individual or as a business. This has been your girl, Adobea Biritwum on Geek Squad. Thank you so much, Amanda Akushi. A big thank you to my producer, Prince Safo. God willing, next week, we will be right back. Thank you. Have a good evening. Up next is news.
Sending big waves into motion, like how a single